So, today I want to talk to you about a serious pandemic that is plaguing our entrepreneurship communities in Zimbabwe. And this problem is really emanating from the new entrepreneurs, the young entrepreneurs. I guess it's because of inexperience. Borrowing money from loan sharks to start a business, borrowing money from loan sharks to facilitate a supposed deal. Guys, this is not a good idea. It's some form of financial suicide. And trust me, no matter how good you are at math, right? No matter how good you are at your math, at your accounts, you will never, trust me, you will never beat the system. Loan sharks are there for a reason. That is to milk every cent out of you in interest. And more often than not, people are paying more interest than the actual principal that they borrowed. Okay, than the actual principal amount that they borrowed. Let me tell you something. If for some fantasy reason you have a business idea that requires you to have a capital of $5,000 for example as capital, and all you have is 500, let me just give you a piece of advice. You take your dream, you take your vision, you shelve it somewhere. You take the 500 that you have. Now find an idea that fits within the 500 that you have. You cannot find 5,000 through normal channels. There is no way you are raising 5,000 plus the interest, okay, that you get from the loan shark. There is no way you are raising that 5,000 to give back to the loan shark and then to also be able to pay back the interest. Trust me, you cannot find that money because within your circles you don't have, and you don't have the capacity to also generate that amount of money. So just don't. Start with the money that you have. How hard is it to just find a business idea or a project idea for $500 and get started? You build that 500 until it turns to the 5,000. Then you revisit that $5,000 idea. Where are you rushing off to? You know, in Shona they say, that's the case that's happening right now. And it may look like a joke, but shops are actually shutting down. Sometimes businesses are suffering premature death. Why? Because the owner could not think straight and ended up borrowing money from loan sharks. Guys, loan sharks will forever be in businesses because of people like you. Don't make that mistake. The interest rates are crazy high. I mean, I've heard of people paying 20%, 25%, 30% monthly interest. Where are you going to get the money from? I mean, seriously, you're giving money, 5,000 for example, and then you're supposed to bring back that 5,000 at the end of the month plus the 30% interest. It may sound like, oh, it's not a lot of money. What do you mean it's not a lot of money? 30% interest is expensive loan. 30% interest is an expensive loan. Don't do it, guys. What kind of financial education do you need to know? You don't even need to know. You don't even need to be an accountant. You don't need to be very good in your mathematics for you to just know that 30% is a terrible idea. 25% is a suicidal financial idea. Anything above 5% is a lot. Right? It's a lot. See how the Zimbabwean economy is. Not many people are liquid. So your business, if it's not a defined niche, or if it's not a specialized niche where you are probably the only supplier, don't do it. Don't do it. And more often than not, these loan sharks, they'll ask you for your car as collateral. They'll ask you for household furniture that is collateral. If you borrow that money, let's say you've just asked maybe for 2 months or even 30 days, it's a 30-day loan. By the time you get to the 30 days, you won't even have the principal amount that you borrowed. You won't even have it. You have only the interest, right? This is how the cycle works. You only have the interest. You pay that interest. And then the loan shark seems to understand you. They're not understanding anything. They'll tell you, okay, next month, bring back my money with the interest. You start the 30-day cycle again. You get to the second 30 days, you're now in the 60 days. You still do not have the principal amount that you borrowed. Now you're back at square zero. You give them interest. Now, the cycle goes on and on and on. By the time you get to the 4th or the 5th month, you would have paid off the principal amount using interest only, but still you are owing. Somehow you cannot find that 5,000 that you initially borrowed, or you cannot find that 500 that you initially borrowed. I'm just giving 5,000 just as a number, but people are borrowing as little as $500. My loan sharks, guys, don't do it. Stop it. I've not heard of any single person that has started their business from a loan shark capital and went on to be very successful. People are crying out there. It's not possible, guys. You will find yourself talking to yourself. You will find yourself walking in the streets looking like a zombie. You will be ashy from stress. Your skin will be ashy and white from stress. You will lose weight. Don't play when the loan sharks want their money. And by the way, when they see that now you've returned the principal amount and you're still struggling, some won't even extend the grace period. Now they'll start threatening you. I want my money. You think I came here to give you money for free? Mind you, they don't even acknowledge that all the interest that you've paid, you've already replaced that principal amount. No, a deal is a deal. You've got to return the principal amount, and each day that passes by, it's interest that you're accruing. And then some people want to bring spirituality into it, saying, oh, this money from the loan sharks, people use muti, loosely translated, saying that, oh, this money has some traditional nuances to it, you're using muti, or it's simple mathematics. 30% interest is too much. That is the death of you right there, okay, financially. And sadly, most people are now committing suicide because they couldn't pay back the money and the pressure from the loan sharks is too much. You've lost your car. I know people that have lost cars, more than one car. Lost cars, they've lost valuable properties, they've lost even their own businesses, because now you'll be selling everything just wanting to recover, and then you tell yourself, oh, I'll start from scratch, and scratch you won't be able to start from because there's nothing there. You'll be like at the bottom. It's like an abyss, okay? It's an abyss. You can't rise up, but you keep falling down. It's an unending cycle, guys. Don't borrow money from loan sharks. Even if it's a small business and you're saying, oh, I just need 300, could you boost up business for 300? Don't try that nonsense. Don't do it. The fact that you cannot even raise 300 from your own current business activities, that's a clear indication that you cannot afford that loan. Of course, loans are given to boost businesses in a normal economy, but if you're not getting the loan from a bank, trust me, you're getting from a loan shark. It is a day, and if you know, you know. You think a loan shark is now so understanding that, oh, if things don't work out, we'll just talk it out. No, they are in it for money. They are in it for money, and they are making thousands and thousands of dollars every other month through interest. Not only do they get money from you through interest, if you fail to pay back, they'll be selling your car, they'll be selling your property, and then they'll come back again, because when they evaluate that car, let's say you've given them a $10,000 car, they'll give you a $5,000 loan for a $10,000 car. They'll evaluate your car at 50%. So whatever evaluation they come up with, that's the money you are given. You've already lost your car right there and then. For those that remember, there were some stories that happened, I think, maybe some 10 years ago, when people borrowed money from an institution, I don't know, but it was owned by Frank Boyanga, and people lost houses because of loans. People lost houses because they couldn't sustain the interest. You should Google that story. It's not a joke, guys. Don't play with your livelihoods like that. Don't lose your hard-earned cars because of that. In Zimbabwe, we only buy cars using cash. So imagine losing that car all because you wanted to borrow money. To do what?